going, guys? Welcome back. If this is your first time stopping by, I'm Rose. Welcome to the Veggie fam, Team Veggie Rose, whatever you would like to call it. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're interested in vegan lifestyle or vegan recipes or just healthier living, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you will be notified every time a new video goes up, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 9 things that have changed in my life since going vegan. And I'm going to start with the first one that I actually noticed in myself when I first went vegan. And this is another one that actually a lot of people look forward to when they are thinking about going vegan or when they first become vegan. And that is energy. I felt a noticeable difference in my energy levels when I first became vegan. Within like the first 2 to 3 days, I could feel so much more energized. The crazy thing is I felt so much more energized, and it's become the norm now, so I don't feel all that extra energy. What I do notice is the difference between my energy levels and other people who are not vegan and their energy levels. For example, if we're doing the same activity, my energy levels are like through the roof, while sometimes other people's energies are a little lower. And when I wasn't vegan, my energy would be a little on the lower side as well. So that's why I still do notice it. However, now it's just like a normal thing that I'm just like way more energized. Even though that's not saying I didn't have much energy to begin with, because I've always been a very high energy type of person, very outgoing, kind of like all over the place. You guys might be able to tell that I'm like that already if you guys are not new to the channel. Now I feel like I still have energy at the end of the day. I do feel tired, but I don't feel like super exhausted. And with this newfound energy, I found that I wanted to be even more adventurous and get out, work out more, like out in nature, because my working out is just being outside and doing things outside. I love being out in nature and hiking, biking, all that stuff. So I crave just going out and using up all of the extra energy that I have. I love going on hikes, like into the forest, into the woods, 10, 30 miles, you name it. I love it. It's just so awesome to have so much extra energy and just to be able to do things outside. Healthy skin. I've talked about this before, how I had developed a lot of acne past my teenage years. So once I became like 20, 21, when I had my son, my first kid, I just developed a ton of acne and it wouldn't go away. And it was just all the time on my cheeks and my forehead, and it sucked. And I hated it because I had gone so long without having acne, and my teenage years were acne free for the most part, and then just having all the acne come at me when I became a little older, you know, it was just kind of like such a bummer. But I noticed a big difference when I became vegan, and I attribute my clear skin now to not just being vegan, but more specifically being dairy free, because I mean I used to love dairy products and cheese and all that stuff, and I know that that causes a lot of like inflammation and stuff like that, and I completely believe that dairy products were just like tearing up my skin. And I tend to have really sensitive skin. I actually have a natural skincare routine, which I'll link above here. That is just my completely natural skincare routine. I don't use soap or anything like that, and that has also helped a ton. However, I will say that it did take a few months for my face to actually start clearing up after I went vegan. It wasn't as fast as I saw like the results from having energy. I had to wait a few months. I would say like 6 to 9 months or so before my face really started clearing up. Like it would clear up, then it would flare back up, and it would clear up, flare back up, until like 9 months, I would say, is a fair estimate to tell you guys. It's how long it took for my face to actually really clear up and stay that way. Sick no more. Okay, maybe that's a bit of a stretch. So I still do get sick, but I used to, before going vegan, I used to get sick all the time. I used to get colds all the time. My allergies were always acting up, and I just had like throat pains and ear pains and headaches and just like random things that I just felt like crappy a lot of the time. And when I went vegan, I noticed, no, actually the funny thing is I didn't notice it immediately. I didn't notice that I wasn't getting sick immediately until my whole family got a cold, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get a cold. It's gonna suck. It lasts so long. But the thing is, I caught the cold, but it only lasted a day. And I was like shivering, cold, the whole shebang with having a cold. And it didn't last past that day that I had it. So the next morning I woke up feeling like nothing had ever happened. And I was like, what in the world? And then, you know, I got to thinking, like, how did I get over this cold so fast? And I was like, oh, that's right. They say that vegan people don't get sick as often. And that's when it clicked. And the crazy thing is, since I've gone vegan, I haven't gotten more than like 2 colds a year. And if I do get a cold, again, it would only last a day, tops 2 days. And however, I did get a cold a couple weeks ago that lasted like 3 days, and it was, it sucked. But for the most part, like I said, I get sick on very, very rare occasions, and yeah, it feels great. More environmentally conscious. Researching veganism led me to open up Pandora's box on global warming and how we are affecting global warming as just humans. Now I've learned to shop secondhand a lot more and really actually enjoy it. I use reusable bags or paper bags, and I just shop a lot less in general, which leads me to my next topic, minimalism. I've always been a less is more type of person, but going vegan really kicked that into high gear. So in learning veganism's positive impact on the world, I also learned mass consumption's negative impact on global warming and just the world in general, and that led me further into wanting to live a more minimalist lifestyle. Also, I just feel happier with less. Having more material things won't make me feel happier. On the contrary, it would actually make me feel like cluttered and clouded, and it actually makes me kind of anxious to have a bunch of stuff that serve no purpose. Making an impact. So I've been able to change so many people's minds on veganism and vegan food in general by just sharing my food with people. Those people share their experience about vegan food with other non-vegans, and in turn, those people become more receptive to trying new foods, healthier foods in general, or vegan food. My mom is almost vegetarian now. She eats mostly vegetarian, and she also is just eating a lot healthier in general. And my brother is also a lot more receptive to eating vegan food and vegetarian food, which he wasn't really into that kind of thing before. Discovering new flavors. Wow, so I practically had to learn to cook all over again when I first went vegan, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this who have gone vegan as well. Most of the foods that I would cook before and I was familiar with were not vegan friendly. And you would think that not having those options that I had in the past would be just awful. But actually it was quite the opposite. I have discovered so many different foods, so many new flavors and new seasonings and spices that now I feel like I have so many more options than I had before when I was stuck in my like animal product cooking rut where I would just do kind of like the same thing, same flavors, whatever. Now that I was forced to think outside the box and forced to try new things. And a lot of times it turns out great, and I end up with a whole new different dish that I had never ever tried before and that I absolutely end up loving. So yeah, I think that's awesome that I was able to discover so many different foods when I thought originally that I was just gonna lose everything, you know? No, that's not the case. Also, pretty much anything that you could make non-vegan that you would have before you went vegan, you would be able to have an alternative of that as a vegan. So you really, instead of losing out anything, you're just gaining so much more. Eating larger quantities. Before switching over to a vegan lifestyle, I would feel guilty whenever I would have like really large amounts of foods, and for the most part, it would be like large, greasy foods, fried foods, sloppy foods. I still like sloppy food. But my point is that I would just feel so guilty for eating so much food. Like I'm from Philly, and I would have like a ginormous cheesesteak, and then after I would eat the entire cheesesteak, I would feel guilty for eating the whole thing because I knew deep down that it wasn't the healthiest thing for me and that it would just not make me feel good. And I've always had a large appetite. But since eating healthier, I crave more and more healthier foods as opposed to like the fried foods that I used to crave before. And since I've been eating healthier, I can eat way larger portions, way bigger quantities of the healthy food without feeling guilty about eating like a huge greasy thing, or without feeling weighed down or sluggish, because a lot of times that food would make me feel really sluggish. And I still indulge. You guys, if you guys follow me on here or on my YouTube and have seen my recipes before, or if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that I do indulge. I do still occasionally have my fried foods and whatever, but I do it in less, way less often and smaller portions, because I know that I'm just not gonna feel so good. Those are sometime foods and I don't want to eat that every single day. No more pudge. Last but not least, no more pudge. So by no more pudge, I literally just mean that my stomach just feels slimmer and less bloated than it used to. I used to just feel bloated all the time, and I would feel like I was full, and I definitely attribute that to how much cheese and dairy I used to eat, because I used to eat loads of cheese. I literally used to buy like sharp cheddar cheese and eat like half a block. Like, it was ridiculous how much cheese I used to eat. But I used to love it, and I used to eat it a lot, I'm not gonna lie. And it would make me really bloated. I've always been like sensitive to dairy, so yeah, it would make me really bloated. And when I cut out the dairy, my bloating completely went away, and my stomach just always feels like slim and just feels good, and I don't feel like I'm just bloated all the time. And yeah, I just feel good in general. So can I add a last one, a 10? So number 10 is I feel good. I feel good mentally, physically, just kind of like feel good all the time. I mean, obviously I have my times where I don't feel good and I might feel down, but I definitely have way more days where I feel great. So that is that, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it if you liked it. Also, I will talk to you guys very soon. I love you all. Bye.